Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think we all might be in a little trouble because I don't have anything written down to say. Yeah, and I'm a pastor, so we might be in trouble. But first, let me say thank all of you for coming out. I look around, I see the mosaic in the room, black, white, Hispanic, and that really represents the fabric of our city. I'd be remiss if I didn't say and do this. I want to thank Pastor Haley for coming out. I want to thank my friend Pastor Davis for coming out. But I also want to thank the person for which none of this is possible, and that's my mother. And there's somebody sitting next to my mother who, with no hyperbole or stretch or misuse of words, is equally responsible for me standing here today, and that's Linda Rennie. I'm born and raised here in this city, and when I was coming up as a young man in school, let's just say I had my challenges. Right? So I was kicked out of school in 9th grade. Linda had to come and bail me out and rescue me. I was kicked out of school in 12th grade. Linda had to come bail me out and rescue me. But I wasn't kicked out of school because I was dumb. I was kicked out of school because the educational system wasn't challenging enough for me, and back in those days, they would slot you, particularly if you was a person of color. They would slot you. They didn't view communities of color as assets. Now, in my 10 years of serving on the County Board of Commissioners, I have worked to create balanced, integrated communities here across the entire Lehigh County. Growing up here, communities of color, you could count them on both hands and feet, right? Those of us who grew up here, you knew every person you saw, you knew where they came from down south, what car they drove up here with, what family brought them here. You knew all that. And our city has significantly transitioned and changed. And the challenges that we face as a city, it isn't what's going on with the FBI investigation and all that. Because whoever the next mayor is, that goes away. There are more significant challenges that we face as a city. And those challenges are, how do we build a community that incorporates, that values, that integrates all of the members of its community? How do we create and build together a community where everybody has equal access, where everybody can believe, tangible, that the city and its political leadership is actually working on their behalf and for their good? That's why I'm running. I'm not running, any of you guys that know me, I'm not a position guy, I'm not a title guy, been there, done all that. I'm running because I believe you, your future, the future for your kids, the future for your family, the future for our city is too critical to let opportunity slip by. We've got about 10 years as a region to get this whole issue of diversity and inclusion right. About 10 years to get it right. If we're not able to get it right, we are going to have entrenched pockets of poverty. We're going to have entrenched pockets of dysfunction, and we will be even more divided as a city. Now, this is a tough conversation that we don't like to have in the Lehigh. Certainly, most people wouldn't launch a political race having a conversation like this, but this is the reality that we face. So I'm not asking you to vote for me, to support me, because I'm a person of color. I'm not asking you to vote for me, to support me, because you're a person of color. I'm asking you to vote for me and support me because we all equally recognize the systemic challenges we face as a community. How do we create balanced economic development where everybody benefits from growth and development? See, the whole ideal and concept of using taxpayer dollars to incentivize economic development, which in my 10 years as the county board of commissioner, I have been a staunch supporter of, is that by using the taxpayer dollars, you expand the economic pie. In expanding the economic pie, there are more slices to share with everything. Right? That's the whole idea. Anybody get their slice yet? Right? That's our challenge. When you talk to individuals about the city and the future of its city, one of the things that you'll hear them say is, if Allentown is ever going to be what it needs to be, we need to do something about the school district. And I agree. I serve on the school district advisory team. I agree, we need to do something about the district, about the school district. But what we have to do in our thinking is not to think about these things in isolation and as an aggregate. We have to think about the city as an ecosystem. Everything intact, everything linked together. So if we can't have viable, balanced economic development in our city, how can the families from which our children who come into our educational system come out of? How can those kids come out of more stable environments if mom and dad can't find a job that pays them a livable wage? If they can't get affordable housing, right? If they can't find decent jobs and live in safe, decent communities and neighborhoods. So what I'm actually talking about when I talk about the integration of the city going forward is the pathway to victory for us as a city. Now, why are we here tonight? Why are we here in this place here in Union Baptist? This is where it all kind of started for me. Right here. Went to church here, right? Got whooped here. right outside these doors, right on these mean streets of Allentown, I had my days. Some of you know. I was a hustler. I also ended up strung out, homeless, living on the streets. So as a candidate, I understand what 70% of our city needs. Because nearly 70% of our city is below the poverty line. I can relate. I know the challenges of thinking about how am I going to put bread on the table? How am I going to get milk for my kids? How am I going to go out, if I'm going to work all week for 40 hours or 50 hours, can I bring home a decent paycheck that can help meet my needs? I understand that. I've got 25 years of senior leadership experience. I worked for a company called A.B. Dennison. I spent 10 years living on planes, doing executive coaching, executive leadership development. I understand the business community. I understand senior executive leadership. I'm the only candidate that's going to be in this race that has the ability to talk to the CEO of PP&L and the brother slinging on the corner. And do it with authenticity. People want to make campaigns about politics and political strategy. I've never really been a politician in my 10 years. I really haven't. Now we're going to do the political things necessary to run a campaign. But what I want to put in your hearts is this. This is more than about political strategy. Are we going to fight for our city, to reclaim our city? Right? Particularly those of us from communities of color. In my 10 years, whenever I've tried to push and fight and drive for an issue, this is what I've heard oftentimes. And those of you in political circles, you've heard this. Well, Commissioner Jones, I hear you, but you know, those folks don't vote. See, they count on a city that is majority minority. They count on you staying home and you not coming out to vote. Why in a city in which we are the majority, we don't really run anything? They count on that. There are campaigns that are building their strategy right now with the expectation that communities of color, and particularly the poorest of us in the urban core, aren't going to come out and vote. But you know what I say? Let's make a liar out of all of them. the ability for the voices of the community, the voices of the city to be heard, and then those voices being represented in the framework of public policy. How do we make choices? How do we make decisions? How do we allocate resources? What are our priorities? Who sits at the table when decisions and choices are being made? If we don't come out, shame on us.
Yeah.
Shame on us. I'll just give you a couple of numbers. Can I give you a couple of numbers? I know my campaign team, they're probably like, you're off script. Let me give you a couple of numbers. In 2013, in the first ward, 9 people came out and voted. 9. 2015 in the first ward, did a little better. 13 people came out and voted, right? Those are in the local elections. Now, in this past presidential election, 568 people came out and voted. 9, 13, 568. You know why I believe that is? I believe that's because we don't recognize the critical role that local government plays in our lives.
Yes, that's right.
See, the decisions and the choices that we make in local government, they affect the fabric and the content of your life every day. Every day. How many people here are homeowners in Lehigh County? Right? Your property taxes either went up or down a few years ago. That was because the county decided to do assessment. Right? Choices and decisions that are made in your local government affect your life more than who sits in the White House. So what is the message that we need to carry to our community? Because a lot of us are frustrated about who's sitting in the White House right now, right? Come on. Like we don't have our morning, our weekend of grief, pride and boo-hoo, and all of that, right? And the danger, particularly for our young people, particularly for millennials, particularly for those who engaged in the political process for the first time and still saw an outcome that they didn't want. The danger is for them to think that their vote doesn't matter, that engaging in the political process has no value. We need to leave from this place with the message that your vote matters, and your vote matters even more in the local context. You can't decide who's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but you can decide. I was going to say something else, but I was in church. But you can decide who is going to be mayor of the city in which you live and in the city in which your children live. One of the critical assets that I've learned in 10 years that you need as a politician to be effective, right? You need courage. It takes courage to be an effective politician, to be an effective legislator, because there are going to be times when politically, it is insane to stand for what's right, because y'all do know politics and what's right don't always convert. Right? I have a proven track record of standing alone, standing for what's right. I'm not bought, I'm not influenced, I'm not controlled by anybody.